Managing a handful of VR devices might be doable with a traditional device management tool, but when your organization scales to 50, 100, or even thousands of devices, it becomes impossible. Now, what if there was an easy way to manage headsets, deploy updates, and track performance across your entire VR fleet with just a few clicks? That's exactly what ArborXR can do. In the last few years, we've helped thousands of organizations, including over 60 Fortune 500 companies, control all of their VR headsets from a single dashboard. So in today's video, I'll show you why traditional device management tools don't work for companies that are using virtual reality and how organizations can easily manage VR headsets at scale using ArborXR. Let's dive in. Imagine you've just launched a VR training pilot and instead of running smoothly, your MDM struggles to keep up. Apps fail to install, headsets require constant hands-on troubleshooting, and worst of all, you have no control over what your users see inside the headset. It's frustrating, time-consuming, and it's holding your team back. Traditional MDMs like VMware and Intune were built for laptops and smartphones, not XR devices, and that's a big problem. Let's talk about 3 major reasons why traditional MDMs are completely unsuitable for VR. First, installing and managing apps is a major headache. Traditional MDMs don't offer the app support you need for XR. They don't host apps, so you have to upload each app to a storage bucket and copy and paste the URL into the MDM. You need to repeat this process anytime a new version is available. They also don't offer version management features like release channels, making it extremely tedious to install different versions of your app across different groups of devices. And even if you do manage to install an app, you have to put each headset on to make sure it actually went through. So you're often left manually installing apps via cable and creating IT tickets every time you need to update an app. With VR apps being massive, sometimes 15 gigabytes or more, this becomes completely unworkable at scale. Second, the admin experience is just frustrating and limited. These systems were designed for phones and tablets, so you'll encounter confusing interfaces filled with irrelevant features. Worse yet, enrolling devices becomes a very manual, time-consuming process. XR devices run Android open source, which doesn't support zero-touch enrollment like regular Android phones. This means you're forced to put on each headset just to get started, requiring you to sideload the MDM, run ADB commands, and manually sign in while wearing the device. Imagine the hours wasted on these repetitive tasks, and you're managing dozens or hundreds of headsets. Third, you have little control over the in-headset experience. Traditional MDMs were not built for immersive environments, so they don't offer features like in-VR single sign-on, remote viewing, or custom home environments. Without these capabilities, you're stuck with gaming devices, not tools fit for enterprise or education use. Users can freely access app stores, browse the web, and download whatever they want, completely defeating the purpose of a managed deployment. Here's a real-life example that shows just how costly these limitations can be. A leading healthcare provider had 4,000 XR devices spread across 30 locations. They tried using their traditional MDM, but it lacked proper app support and couldn't lock down the in-headset experience. Because of this, they had to spend $10,000 shipping all the devices back to their IT team, spent countless hours manually resetting every single headset, and then spent another $10,000 shipping them back after installing ArborXR. That's $20,000 wasted, plus months of delays and hundreds of IT hours, all because they chose the wrong management tools from the start. It's painful, time-wasting, and completely avoidable with the right solution built specifically for XR. The only way to manage a larger scale VR program is by using a tool that was specifically designed for that purpose. That's exactly what ArborXR is, and that's how it solves all the problems I just mentioned. Let's start with enrollment. Unlike traditional MDMs that require manual sideloading and running ADB commands, enrolling devices is fast and simple. Just download the ArborXR device setup app, plug in multiple devices at once, and enrollment takes about 20 seconds for most headsets. Or even better, we work with a variety of preferred channel resellers who can procure and provision your devices for you so they are ready to use right out of the box. ArborXR supports a variety of enrollment methods like QR code that streamlines and simplifies enrollment. Moving on to content management. Unlike traditional MDMs that require manual uploads and URL copying, ArborXR gives you one-click app pushes. You upload a build once, then deploy or update it to any device group worldwide from the cloud dashboard, no sideloading or USB cables required. We also offer version control and rollback capabilities, which means that you can keep multiple versions in your library, promote a release, or roll back instantly if an update causes issues. Beyond just apps, you can distribute files and media like 360 videos, PDFs, or other training assets alongside apps, so everything arrives together on the headset. Plus, you can organize devices by site, team, or project, and schedule installs after hours to avoid disrupting users. We've also created a direct content sharing system between developers and organizations. Software vendors can share their VR applications directly through ArborXR, which eliminates all that manual downloading, uploading, and URL copying for each update. It's a seamless pipeline from your developer to your devices. Our admin dashboard is designed specifically for VR with a clear, purpose-built interface. There are no confusing features or irrelevant options cluttering your view. One feature our customers absolutely love is remote view. You can actually see what users are seeing inside their headsets in real time by casting the device's screen to the Arbor portal over Wi-Fi. This means you can provide guidance and troubleshoot issues without having to physically be there. When someone calls with a problem, you don't have to walk across campus or fly to another office. You can solve it remotely, saving enormous amounts of time and frustration. With ArborXR, you get complete control over the in-headset experience. Our kiosk mode lets you restrict devices to a single app that automatically launches upon startup. This is perfect for training scenarios or public demos where you need focused experiences. And for more flexibility, there's ArborXR Home Launcher, which is a fully customizable home environment. You can add your company branding, custom background, and precisely control which apps, videos, or WebXR links users can access. It's like creating your own enterprise VR space, completely locked down from consumer distractions. We also offer VR single sign-on, which requires users to authenticate before they can access content. This authentication expires when the headset powers off, and it lets you know exactly who is using the device at any given time. ArborXR isn't just for managing devices, though. With our new ArborXR Insights feature, you can actually measure how learners are performing in VR. See how much time they're spending in training, track task completion, and spot where they're getting stuck, so you can improve outcomes faster. And all of that data connects directly to your existing LMS with support for 500 plus platforms. And when it's time to report results, you've got clean, shareable dashboards that make it easy to show impact and prove ROI to your stakeholders. A good example of implementing a VR-specific MDM is PwC, a multinational business advisory firm. They were using virtual reality as a tool for internal training, collaboration, and sales, but they had a really hard time managing more than 300 headsets across multiple departments. Their solution was to centralize management of all devices with ArborXR. This allowed them to control their entire fleet from a single dashboard, making updates and content deployment incredibly simple. And the results were pretty amazing. Over 25,000 PwC employees completed VR training through this system. Their internal studies showed that this training was 4 times more effective than traditional training methods like a classroom or video lesson. They also found that VR training became more cost-effective at scale than compared to traditional training methods. Another great example comes from Delta Airlines. Before implementing VR, they struggled to conduct proficiency checks for employees, managing only about 5 per day since they depended on actual weather events. After deploying headsets managed through ArborXR, their ground safety advocates now conduct around 150 proficiency checks daily, a pretty nice 5,000% increase. Kevin Markham, Delta's AR/VR program manager, says the difference is night and day. He says, with ArborXR, I can track headsets, monitor usage, and help stations remotely. It made a huge impression on our leadership team. These are just 2 examples of how organizations are transforming their VR deployments from management nightmares into strategic assets with the right tool and easily managing 50, 100, or even more VR headsets. Now, if you're looking to get started with ArborXR, you can click the first link in the description to get a 30-day free trial. So again, click the link below to try it out for free. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.